everyone, my name is Danielle. Welcome back to my channel. How are you folks? I'm doing okay. I'm stressed, but I'm okay, and we will get into that. But yeah. If you have ever been someone you've probably seen the title of this video, you're probably like, how do people make goals? And I have filmed a video on it before. I think I will put it right here. Fact is, I did make a video on like how to goal set, and I think that is a useful video, but I did want to kind of update some of the things that I have, or some of the advice that I have, because a lot of my opinions has changed. In addition to, I also wanted to show you my literal goals that I have for the month of October. I used to do quarterly goals because everyone else on YouTube has done quarterly goals. However, the quarterly system just doesn't work for me because I am a student. I organize my year into like spring semester, summer quarter, fall semester, winter quarter, and that doesn't gel really well with like the 3-month quarter system with the goal setting, because some semesters end in the middle of a quarter, in the middle of the 3 months. Sometimes it ends directly before or after, so it just doesn't make sense for me. So I've stopped using quarterly goals. Maybe one day I'll return to them, but up until this point, it's not for me. First, I wanted to talk about some advice that I can share for the goal setting, and I also want to share my literal goals. So, I have my trusty iPad here with my goal setting. These are my goals. You can see I organized them into 6 sections, and yeah, it is currently Saturday, so I have some things that I have done already, some things that I haven't done just because they take the entire week. But yeah. So if you've never heard of SMART goals, it was something that I learned in college. In my first semester of college, I took like a study skills community college class, and they have SMART goals, which they were, you pretty much take a goal and then you spread it out by like specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time. So you can get a template online. So that's what a template looks like. And if you want to say get healthier, that's a very vague goal. However, if you want to say get into running, that is more specific. You can help narrow it down. Measurable, maybe I'm gonna run 3 times a week. Actionable, things that's something that you can do. And relevant is relevant because you want to get healthier, you want to work out more, you want to increase your cardio. You have the time aspect to where it is in a week. And that brings on to my next topic. Break it down into smaller, manageable chunks, because the goal of just be healthier is so vague and so big that it's kind of hard to measure your success. However, being able to say, I'm gonna run 3 times a week, it's much more actionable, much more realistic, something that you can do. Another recommendation that I have is to write it down, which I have done on my iPad, but you don't need an iPad to do so. You can just get a post-it note and write down your little goals. That's what I used to do. I had a bullet journal, a physical bullet journal. It's on my shelf. I'm not gonna go get it, but I did have like a physical page. You can see on my original video, in my original goals video, I did a mind map. Now I do like a graph, or a chart would be more accurately, a grid template. Another thing that I am bad at, I do not celebrate my successes enough. Oftentimes I am so focused on what to do that I don't celebrate what I have done. And I'm trying to get better at that, but that's my do as I say, not as I do. If you can celebrate your successes, please do. Whether that be something as small as getting 20 hours of homework done in the week. That's beautiful, wonderful, lovely. And you can celebrate by, let's say, getting a coffee out at the end of the week. That's, that's a reward, and that's something that you can celebrate your small successes, because being able to celebrate at the end of the semester saying, I got all A's in my classes, is a long-term goal, as opposed to, I'm going to study 4 hours today. And by the end of the 4 hours, you're like, yes, I did it. You can be proud of yourself. I think that me having trouble with not being proud of myself is more so to do with my culture. Oftentimes we play ourselves down. American culture seems to be like, oh yeah, look at me. If you don't know, I am Filipino American. So I'm more so talking about my Filipino side, being raised up in that. I'm trying to be better at that. I don't want to be to the point of arrogance. However, I do think that I can be better at celebrating my successes. Another thing that I do and that I recommend is to find accountability. Accountability could be as simple as sending your goals to your friend, which is what I oftentimes do. I sent my weekly goals to Leo. He was in my makeup video. He now goes by a different name. That is what I do. I find accountability, and at the end of the week I will update him on what I've done, what I haven't. It's just a good thing for oftentimes it's hard to be accountable to yourself, but when you have someone else waiting on you and having a question whether you did it or not, that seems to light a fire under me. Another thing that I have recently implemented and that has helped me tremendously is changing the goals when the things change, because things do change. Life is unpredictable. And I had to get rid of some goals because they weren't relevant to my life anymore. And instead of fulfilling those goals because, rather before I would have fulfilled those goals nonetheless, now I feel like I can change things around. And the last point is unfortunate but true. You just have to put in the work. You have to put in the hours and the time and the energy, which is not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. It's so easy to make goals. It is. It's so easy. You just have to say what you want to do. Like, I want to get all A's this semester. That's it. I've done my goal setting. But it's a whole different ball game to actually put in the work, put in the hours in. And then you also need to factor in like time, wealth, privilege as well. You have to be realistic with the time and energy that you have. Sometimes maybe A's are just unattainable for you because you work full time, so you have to get B's or C's. It is what it is, and that is more realistic. Again, going back to the SMART goals, where the R in SMART stands for relevant / realistic. Nonetheless, let us talk about my goal setting. First, let's talk about my October 2025 goals. First is school goals. Top of mind, type of priority. I am a student, and that's always my priority. Is to keep up with schoolwork. Just to do it. Not to get like A's in it, just to complete it, which is oftentimes the hardest part for me. Once I do that consistently, then I tend to get good grades. October is registration month for the next semester, so I wanted to register for more classes. I am graduating in the spring of 2026 for my undergrad. There are a few classes that I need to take no matter what for my graduation requirement. Literally the minute that my window opens to register for classes, I will be registering for classes. I will not be like even 10 minutes late for that because I need these classes no matter what. I think it opens at midnight, so I will be up at midnight. Next one is to not miss classes. Again, very simple. I just don't want to miss classes for silly little reasons. Like I don't want to skip classes. It leads to things like this. Like I want to get all A's in my classes. I don't think all A's are realistic for me personally. But nonetheless, like not all A's. Like get good grades. You know what I mean? I want to get good grades this semester, but not missing classes will lead to poor execution, poor practice, poor results. For physical, I'm gotten back into running. I'm training for a 5K. I'm gonna run a 5K in November. I think that's when the race is. I am running 3 times a week, and I want to go to Pilates. You can see there's no number there, because I needed to schedule the Pilates classes for this week, but I was a bit late, so I was unable to go to any Pilates classes. Or I did go to Pilates classes, but I didn't go to as many as I wanted to. For emotional goals, go to therapy. That's pretty obvious. I needed to schedule therapy appointments, and they have been ghosting me. The office has been ghosting me. I have since scheduled therapy appointments, so all I need to do is just go to the appointment. Hang out with friends. Pretty self-obvious. I tend to do that with D&D. It's a social obligation. It's a tabletop role-playing game. I have a lot of fun with it, playing D&D. I do that usually weekly, unless things come up. Things came up last week, but yeah, usually it's weekly. And then the next one is Halloween time. Halloween fun. That's just for me to have fun in October for Halloween. I went to some haunted houses in Universal Studios in September. And I have a pumpkin patch thing that I'm going to next week. And then I have a concert in October. And then I'm also going out like clubbing and drinking and having fun with friends on Halloween night. I'm dressing up as Princess Peach. I'm so excited. Spiritual is to read a spiritual book. And the book that I do want to read is Utterly Wicked: Hexes, Curses, and Unsavory Notions by Dorothy Morrison. Yeah, I am curious. This is the cover. Beautiful cover. I'm curious. I don't do hexes, curses, and other unsavory notions myself, but in order to heal things, you need to know how it's caused. That's the line I'm thinking in the spiritual community, so that's why I am reading this book. Financial fill out the FAFSA. The FAFSA open on October 1st, so I need to fill that out for grad school, I believe. And I'm waiting to do that next weekend when I visit, or in 2 weekends when I visit my dad, because I use his financial information because he supports me. But yeah, next one is to pack lunches / dinners when I go to campus, because I don't want to be buying out food all the time. Save 50% of check. That's pretty obvious. I am very privileged in being able to save 50% by check because I live at home. I don't have many bills. Career, go to the Archivist Bazaar. There is going to be an Archivist Bazaar in Los Angeles. There is a networking event for the Archivist Bazaar that I want to go to. If you don't know, I want to be an archivist, so I'm going to the event. I've started a research project, an independent research project where I'm going to be having a poster and I'm going to be presenting at a conference. So I need to watch webinars and listen to podcasts and read boring research papers and highlight them and take notes on them and all that stuff for my research, for academic research purposes. Volunteer with AAC. That's just I started volunteering with the Accessible Archivist Coalition. I'll link them down below. They're a grassroots organization trying to archive some places on the internet. So I'm doing a lot of cataloging with them. Upload 2 blogs. I want to upload 2 vlogs this week. Not this week. This month at least. I will share some of my next week's goal, or should I do last week's goals? Yeah, let's do last week's goals instead. That way I can show you like what I have accomplished. So for school, I have catch up with journals. For my English class, we have like these like creative journals that we need to do. I have not started, and we are 3rd into the semester, and I have to do 50 of them. Having no zeros. Besides the journals, which aren't due until the end of the semester, I have no zeros. Yay! Keep up with schoolwork. I can cross that off my list because I have no schoolwork this week. I kept up with the schoolwork that's due this week. Physical, run 3 times a week. I am going to run this evening, so that's going to be my 3rd time per week. Scheduled Pilates, I have done that. I did that just before filming, actually. And start strength training again. I did not strength train at all this week, but I can strength train on Sunday and count that as starting strength training. So starting is oftentimes the most difficult part, so that's why I add that there. Emotional goals, hang out with friends. I have D&D tomorrow on Sunday. I'm filming this on a Saturday. So I have D&D on Sunday, and hopefully it doesn't get canceled. If not, I'm just going to erase the goal because that's out of my control. Again, I change the goals as I go along. Spiritual, read 50 pages. I have not started that. I have not cracked open the spine to this book. Financial, no DoorDash. The reason why it's not crossed off is because I still have tomorrow to fall in. And I haven't ordered DoorDash all week, so Sunday evening I will cross that off. And the reason why there's a question mark there is because usually I would have like don't buy, or like I'm only allowed to buy food out once in the week, for like lunch or dinner that I have on campus, when I'm on campus. However, our fridge was broken, so I had to eat out all week, and it was expensive. Yeah, there's no way getting around that. I can't control the fridge being broken, so I had to eat out this week. It is what it is. Career, film 3 vlogs. I'm filming one right now. I am filming another one this weekend, like the entirety of this weekend. I'm filming like a weekend vlog again, and then I'm going to film my physical TBR video I think I'm gonna do that. As for letters of rec, I did do that. I am applying to grad school. I did do that. I sent out it. And then train with Omeka. Omeka is a database thing, cataloging thing for archivists, and I am not trained with it yet. I just need to prioritize that time to train with it so that I can volunteer with AAC and start doing some actual good volunteering work there besides just sitting there in the Discord and chilling out with everyone. Those are some tips for goal setting, and those are my literal goals. That's how I split them up. Another thing that I have noticed is that not to focus on the goals, but to focus on systems. Systems of organization, systems of doing things, they tend to work really well for me. So I would recommend that as well. Nonetheless, I hope that this video was interesting to you. I hope that you learned something with goal setting and productivity. Again, if you wanted to learn more, if you want to watch my first video on goal setting, I will put the link somewhere up here in the corner. And yeah, and I will link the video down below as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm trying to post new videos every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe down below, like this video, leave a comment. It's always fun. I do tend to respond to comment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Okay.